With a common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. You the man.
Todd, father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Duo Live show here at Learn Crypto. My name is Nick Hellman.
I am Todd Butterfield.
The man with the plan, taking us all to Lambo land. We want to get back on here. Obviously, we had another round of successful trades, selling out of Coinbase, MicroStrategy, RIOT, Bitcoin, and others. Now, we did have some fake Bitcoin spot ETF news. It has sent Bitcoin surging higher, and it is still maintaining a lot of those gains, sitting here at 28,700. So we're going to look at the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these other cryptos, along with our favorite overall stock assets and the stock indices. So make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you want 24/7 access to Todd, Father, and myself, join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. What is going on today, Todd? What is going on today? Zimmy Jim, Asa La Vista, Gary MC, Carrie, and Yannick.
What's going on? I want to get on here because stocks have been weak, as we've been calling for, continuing to downtrend. Looks like maybe we could accelerate possibly here. Indicators are really neutral, so I want to go over that, talk about Bitcoin trying to hold up, and answer some questions. So Nick can take it away to Beyond FOMO.
Yeah, you see here, Beyond FOMO, we always start these shows just trying to get a general market sentiment, looking at prices. Bitcoin, like I said, 7 days up 7.74% at 28,700. Even though stocks have been on a 7-day downtrend and at the low right now for the day. This is coming off the back of the Bitcoin spot ETF news that turned out to be fake. We did rally as high as 30,000. We've given up about 50% of the gains, but we're still holding here. And I think these are people understanding and speculating that the Bitcoin spot ETF is coming sooner than later and trying to front run that. Many people are saying it is going to be coming in 2023. We have stuck by that we believe it's not coming until January or March of 2024. So will these speculators and front runners be able to hold on to their Bitcoin, their spot Bitcoin, if volatility comes? Only time will tell. If not, I think Bitcoin will quickly catch up to stocks on the downside and give us some massive red bars back in the $26,000 to $27,000 range. And then we'll see where we sit when we get back to those levels. Because you notice Ethereum and some of these other altcoins are still lagging, even with Bitcoin up 8%. Ethereum's only up 2.27% in the past 7 days and still at $1,565. We'll take a look at the charts, but we sold that at much higher levels. We see the same board, BNB lagging Bitcoin, XRP lagging Bitcoin, and really everything lagging Bitcoin except for Solana, which is up 18% at 25.14. So we did close our Solana position for profits. Maybe we sold that one just a few dollars too early because that one is surpassing and outperforming Bitcoin. If any of you guys know any news with Solana or why they are up 18% in the past 7 days and really outperforming the entire market, especially large caps, let us know. Other big winners for the 7-day period, Rollbit, one we've been talking about, and GambleFi. We will talk about Rollbit a little bit later because DeadPrez, a potential competitor, has its public sale today over the next week and will be launching on November 1st. We see Bitcoin SV up 28%. I don't know what that shitcoin is. That is not the real Bitcoin. I would not be a buyer or chaser of that speculative hype. And then, of course, we already talked about Solana. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, throw it in the live chat here on YouTube or over on Twitter. And for now, let's let Todd look at the large cap crypto and the indices for the stock market.
All right, jump into the SPY like normal. You can see red dots are overbought technometers, green are oversold. They've been pretty helpful here with this 6 month chart. Our last buys, we were oversold on the 22nd. We gave buys on the 26, and then we had a sell there on October 11th on the SPY, the NASDAQ the day before. You can see here lower right, technometer is neutral, 45.8, so not telling us to do any buying as of yet. So, and I'll show this here in a little bit. We're having volume actually come into the upside while price is falling. Doesn't look too good, so I think we're still going to continue lower here. So SPY is still lower. QQQ is going to be the same way. 6-month chart. You can see we had a sell right near the highs. That was on the 10th. Technometer 42.9, which is coming down, near oversold, but not there. So again, looks like we're going to work a little bit lower on QQQ here, which I think still keeps pressure on everything. TLT breaks to another new low. Horrible action here on the TLT. This is what's hurting the stocks in general. That's a TLT breaking the new lows. And I do think this is probably a 5th wave in the TLT. So we could get a sharp bounce somewhere here, but technometer 48.2, 50 is overbought. Just watching on TLT, no reason to jump in there yet either. GDX, we talked about this maybe starting a major rally here. Last 10 days or so has been pretty good. Technometer did come down to 42, so GDX I think has made a low. We're going to look for places to buy that on any type of pullback. XLE stays strong. I am looking for sideways here and then higher. So I had a triangle pattern here that actually I think what I've been stating on TLT was, let me move this chart around so we can see it. I think that XLE is going to do a triangle here before higher. So that's what I've been looking for TLT, some type of sideways to still higher on the XLE. And I think that's all we need to go over with on the general market here. I do have, let me bring up one more chart. This is the SPY. Kind of an intraday chart from the highs 3 days ago. You can see here, kind of want to show this because classic Elliott Wave on the SPY. Drag this over here. You can see 5 waves down for this wave 1. The wave 4 was a triangle as shown in the white angle lines here for the triangle pattern. Then we had an ABC, 5 waves up for an irregular flat. If you look into that green ABC up, it was a 335. Then we've had a bunch of volatility here, but it looks like we're headed down, still lower. I would guess we're in a wave 3 down, so we're going to keep subdividing lower for a few more days, and then that'll give us a bullish technometer reading. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's see if I can do one more chart. I posted this. Let me come back to another chart. Let's go back to Nick and I and see if there's any questions.
Let's see if there's any questions here. We should definitely take a look. We need to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the large caps in crypto. We haven't touched base on those just yet. Solana does look like it's creating a bearish divergence here. RSI not going to a new high, but price is on the 4-hour chart. So that's something to keep in mind and something that we're talking about. Again, if there's anybody in here who knows what's going on with Solana, what's with the outperformance, let us know your thoughts. Yannick wants to talk about Dead Prez. You can look on our YouTube channel. I posted it there, or on Twitter. Dead Prez. We are in the USA token here at patreon.com/crypto. We got seed and private round investments. The last investment round is the public round, which is occurring today on GemPad at 9 cents. There's only $292,000 available in that round. Right now, I think it's already $60,000 of it is accounted for. Essentially, it's an online gambling casino sports book platform that has an NFT and a token. For every $700 you invest, you get a free NFT with it. I think it will do very well, and they're already building up revenues as the product and casino are already live. So that is Dead Prez if you want to check that out. Thanks, Yannick, for making me bring that up. Mitch Did says thinking of buying any crypto soon. So Mitch Did, if you follow along, we did close a lot of our crypto positions for profits, and we have been monitoring. The fake Bitcoin spot ETF news has caused some major outperformance of Bitcoin compared to the general stock market. So we have not picked anything up yet, and it did ruin our charts just a little bit. But we're going to have Todd go over the charts and maybe look at what the technometer is saying and maybe some levels in which we'll need to be buyers rather than continue to sit on our hands.
I'll jump on that here real quick. This is the SPY chart that I just showed you on TradingView, but this is from our Wyckoff software. So the sell-off you can see here as we went down the last 2 days, volume actually has been moving higher, but that's not a good sign. That's taking the technometer more to overbought, as I mentioned, to 45.8. So it looks like we still got lower to go here. Dow's down 230, NASDAQ down 130. So let's look for a little bit lower. Now let's go back to the crypto charts. Bitcoin USD. This is on Binance, or excuse me, on Coinbase. You can see same thing here, lower right, 44.56 on the technometer. Nick had mentioned, I mean, Ethereum's not acting well, much lower than where we sold it. It just looks like ETF buyers are still trying to front run the news on Bitcoin, keeping it firm. But if stocks continue lower here, I would think Bitcoin's going to get drugged down. So let's watch that. Ethereum, USD, Coinbase. Let's look at this one here. Right near the lows. We were near oversold on Ethereum there the other day at the lows, but again, didn't jump in. Technometer 46.5. So if I can get a buy signal on the general stock market, then we'll probably be jumping on some of these cryptos. And in a minute, we'll go over MicroStrategy, RIOT, Coin, and some of those to be ready to buy those back as well, because we've been trading those very well here. So back to Nick and I.
Any other questions? Mate J. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. What about VET? I know we talked about VET on our last show, you know, kind of saying it's kind of been an underperformer, not much going on there. We would look at it for a general market buy when we were interested in Bitcoin, but it hasn't been one we really followed since the last market cycle. VET was really popular at the same time, like ICX and NEO and all those were popular. So it kind of found its way outside of our portfolio and our trading portfolio over the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. VETs did take out the previous lows. I think I'd mentioned last time we was live, the technometer's neutral. So not much to brag about at the moment.
As far as news is concerned, I see a lot of things. I was on a Spaces with like Crypto Banter and, you know, the Wolf of All Streets and all these guys. You know, a lot of the people in there are believing Novogratz and him saying that he believes the Bitcoin spot ETF is coming before the end of the year, and that's why we're seeing this front running. In my opinion, with all these lawsuits that are still going on, they just opened up a new one with Gemini and the twins over there. Coinbase lawsuit is still there. The Grayscale one, they decided not to appeal, but that's not closed. And the list goes on and on. I just don't see how they're going to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF before they get clarity and the completion of these lawsuits with some of the biggest Bitcoin custodians in the industry. So to me, I'm still, and I've been saying it for months, I believe it's going to be January or March of 2024. January, it would be mid-January. March is the final deadline for about 7 or 8 of the 10 Bitcoin spot ETFs. And it is somewhere between March 14th, March 17th. Do they got to wait to those last days? Not really. But at the same time, when is the government, when has the SEC ever really hurried things along? Now, Gary Gensler is becoming more friendly as he talks about the Bitcoin spot ETF. That's because BlackRock and all these big players are now getting involved and saying it's a flight to safety, comparing it to the likes of gold and all these economic turmoil times, war turmoil times, presidential elections coming, the halving's coming. But again, I don't think there's a rush. I really don't see it coming before the new year. And I mean, the reason I say that is because it would almost have to come within the next few weeks. Because once the holidays comes, SEC is pretty much shutting down. You got Halloween directly into Thanksgiving, directly into Christmas, directly into the New Year's. Once those holidays comes, financial markets, everybody's kind of checking out. And I think that's why they would be waiting to the January and or March deadlines. And then they'll be approving a bulk of them. Not all 10 of them, but probably I would say 5. You'd probably get the BlackRock one, the Grayscale one, maybe the ARK, maybe the Fidelity, and you'll get 5 big name ones, and then they're going to let the free market decide on where they want to put their AUM and into which Bitcoin spot ETF they want to support and trade with. That's
What's up, Deep Pockets? I'm not sure who Deep Pockets is. I don't really recognize that name, I don't believe.
Shout out. Welcome back.
I'm going to jump into MicroStrategy, Coin, RIOT, etc. MicroStrategy, you've had these two smaller trades and a big one back there in June. We did get oversold 3 days ago, down around 327. We didn't jump on that one just because the overall stock environment looked lower, which we have had. So we're sitting here, MicroStrategy's 342. I think our last sell was 337 and change. So we're not really worried about that. We're just trying to figure out when to get back in and be ready for another good trade higher. And again here, RIOT, you can see RIOT underperforming. Much worse so right down here at 884. That's been near the lows at 860, 871, etc. Technometer's neutral, so again, RIOT's just kept me on the sideline. Not ready to jump in yet. Let's look at Mara real quick before someone asks for that one. Same type of thing. I think definitely coming back deeper, but I think still could be a backup. So watching this one as well, technometer neutral. No reason to jump. Coin, same type of thing. Bring up the 1 year. You can see here $73. Nothing to brag about yet. Technometer 45.5. So you can see we're really neutral on Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the Bitcoin related stocks. So that's why we're sitting on the sidelines waiting for stocks to maybe have a quick capitulation wick, and maybe we use that to be a buyer. So we got the Dow down 290, low of the days, S&P down 44, NASDAQ down 151. So on the intraday SPY count, it looks like this is a wave 3 down into the close. So we got 13 minutes today, and then we got tomorrow. So we're looking for lower.
Yeah, and it's really surprising. I guess that Bitcoin's still holding here. This is all anticipation and front running for a hopeful Bitcoin spot ETF off the fake news that happened. And with another lawsuit coming, with the stock market going down, we're seeing Coinbase. We sold Coinbase 5.5% higher. That's at the lows for the day, even with Bitcoin being up. It would be really hard pressed for Bitcoin not to break down here and revisit the 27,000 to 27,500 level, where maybe we get a better idea of a potential buy. But right now, if you're buying a Bitcoin at these levels and it's a long-term hodl position, I don't mind it. But if it's for a trading bag, you are taking high risk because a lot of these gains came from a fake Bitcoin spot ETF news and is really speculating that a Bitcoin spot ETF is coming sooner than later. I believe these are a lot of short-term speculators trying to front run a Bitcoin spot ETF. And if this thing truly doesn't come to January or March, I don't think that these same people are going to be in that trade that long. So we shall see what's going on. Here we go. Coinbase just made another new low for the day at 72.95, now down 5.6% since our last profit sell, even with Bitcoin sitting up here. So in an ideal world, due to our trading positions, we are very bullish on crypto and crypto stocks moving forward. But in an ideal world, we will see Bitcoin follow the NASDAQ lower here. This will drag down our recently exited stock positions even further. We'll be able to buy back Bitcoin, Solana, ETH, and a lot of these other assets across the board. And once again, add more shares to our crypto stock positions. If Bitcoin gives it up, there is no way that Coinbase, MicroStrategy, RIOT, Mara, or any of these are going to hold their current levels. They will follow. They will have some fear due to the Bitcoin sell-off, and we will get all of our entries across the board. So even under current constraints, we're sitting pretty good besides getting back Bitcoin with many of our stock entries below our exit, with Ethereum below our exit. And right now we're really just missing out on with Bitcoin and Solana.
I'm going to show one here that I think's acting very well, obviously, is RNDR. You can see the uptrend here. We had the second set of arrows as the OP hitting new lows while price was holding. That was that down there at 172, 173, and near oversold technometer. We are overbought in the technometer, but that's because of major outperformance. So RNDR, I own actually a little bit of that from before and just kept it because it was small positions. But that's one that could lead us higher, and I think it possibly could be a port blaster coming out of here. So we will watch that and see if that happens.
It's a bird. It's a plane. Nope, it's a pork blaster.
The RNDR. The reindeer.
RUNE is another one that was doing very good and did a full retrace with the issue
Yep.
with the decentralized exchange. So that's one we're kind of watching. Again, INJ is another one that's been very strong.
Yep.
This thing is rallying hard today as well. We just haven't got a great position in any of those because pre-fake Bitcoin spot ETF news, we saw lower in stocks. Bitcoin was looking weak. And if you look back at the charts, there's people front running that insider trading. That's how I know that it was a coordinated thing by Cointelegraph, as you saw spot buying a couple days into a weak stock market prior to the fake Bitcoin spot ETF news. So there was definitely coordination there. We'll see if Bitcoin catches up to the downside with the stock market, and then we can get some of these new trading positions. Maybe it's an INJ, maybe it's a RUNE, maybe it's RNDR. Doge, we've been saying we want to see 5.5 cents. It got as low as 5.6 cents, so not quite there. That's another one we have our eyes on.
INJ definitely breaking out actually even today, so
Yeah.
that one could be interesting.
Yeah, it had a bearish breakdown out of this formation, breaking below their support line, but only got down to around $6.41 before it was kind of saved by the overall market, and now we're back up to $8.54 here. Running into that trend line here shortly if it continues much higher. If it gets about to $9, it'll be running in that trend line, and that'll be a big test for it.
Mike Bone, we do know that name. What's up, Mike?
Yep. Looks like you changed the name. Maybe change the picture.
So INJ, RUNE, and RNDR is three maybe ideas we'll be getting on. Those are all acting well. Dow down 204, trying to bounce. That's all I got. Again, stocks still look lower to me. Maybe drags down crypto a little bit.
What do you think the downside risk is here in stocks? I mean, to me, if it closed right here, right now, off this little bit of a bounce, I still think there's somewhere between, 2.5 to 3.5% downside risk in the NASDAQ after the 7-day downtrend, which historically is going to put pressure on Bitcoin. It just depends on how many people are speculating or know about a potential Bitcoin spot ETF.
I mean, just the TLT breaking down is just, but 10-year treasury rates just missed 5% today, 4.98 the last time I looked. I would think somewhere under the scene something's going to break, whether we got another bank, and that would surely bring in some selling in stocks. Maybe it might catch a bid in Bitcoin since the dollar, since we've got banking issues still maybe underneath the scene. So I don't know. Until the technometer gets close to oversold, we have some sell volume coming in. I'm going to have to stay on the sidelines. I do have a few stocks I'm still long that are giving up a little bit, but I'm hoping they try to hold in, and I might double up on some of them.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to bring up the NVIDIA stock. This is one that I kind of did a full video on. It met the measured move. We gave a tentative long. Todd gave a tentative sell. And in Discord, I said if we break below 440, we have downside risk to $370. We have broke below 440, and we're now sitting at 421.88, near the lows. Getting close to oversold, at least at the indicators I look at. I don't know about the technometer, but I do believe there is still more downside risk with NVIDIA, as they do have some economic issues. That being that if U.S. in this Islam war with Gaza and Israel continues and China gets involved, they're pressuring Taiwan. USA might clamp down a little bit on semiconductor chip sales, and a lot of that is coming from China for NVIDIA, meaning there will be some economic pressures and maybe some pitfalls in these upcoming quarters. So I think that's what we're seeing with this most recent sell-off, is just a little bit of fear there that these economic conditions could hold back NVIDIA and their grandiose plan for data centers, chips, and AI.
On the NVIDIA chart, if we zoom in, we've given these sells really live on YouTube. So we had the green buy there on the 25th and 26th when it was bullish NASDAQ. And we mentioned the sell here on the 10th because technometer got quickly to overbought. Actually registered at the close. It was a 55. We've had 3 days of a little bit bigger volume on the NVIDIAs, and technometer's 39.9. So agree there's a little more downside. Maybe we spring that 404 area. I'm not sure. I don't think it's over with in NVIDIA, but definitely some trading range type action. probably got to shake a few people and see what happens after that.
Gary MC says, any signs of Link pork blasting out of this forever sideways range? From a fundamental perspective, while Todd pulls up the chart, we do know the CCIP upgrade for Link holders and for stakers is going to be supremely bullish, but how long till that's in full effect, I'm not really sure. They are kind of the kings of announcement hype cycles, and we do know historically that Link just hasn't been favorable for its holders. Now that is changing. The fundamentals and token economics are going to be supremely better, but the team and the insiders have been openly dumping on your head. I think they just sold a couple weeks ago another $2.2 million with the Chainlink. So it's hard to push prices up, especially in a bear market when the biggest whales are selling onto any momentum that has been growing. But Todd will take a look at the chart, and we'll see what the technicals say.
I mean, here, same thing. Link, the OP went to new lows on September 11th. And you can see we had the oversold technometer reading. So that was exactly down there at 575. We have had a nice rally from there. So, yeah, I think if we have a buy signal on Ethereum and the other crypto here, Link is probably one that's going to try to take out that 825, 850, 875, 950 on the next rally. So this was a really good setup coming into September 11th. And looks like still higher. So it'd be nice to see a break below 709 or so. Maybe scare everybody down to $6.99, $7. And then I would say that would be a good point to be a buyer.
That's pretty funny that you say that, because I just pulled up my Link chart, and back near the highs, I drew just an ABC down with a price target around $6.99. We haven't quite gotten that low. The lowest we got was 709. But with what Todd is saying, we're sitting right on the 200 moving average on the 4-hour. If Bitcoin breaks down, we get a scare here, then it does get down into that original drawing I had around $6.99. And then you can still say you're in a nice bull flag, nice formation, and this has still been a stronger asset with that CCIP news. You would have to assume, or you would hope, that the team with this big news coming out, hopefully, and that recent $2.2 million sell, they have enough runway to not have to stifle any more momentum leading into the next bull market here in crypto. And maybe they can hold on for 6, 7, 8 more months and then sell at much higher prices.
I'm going to do two more here. ANET, I'm long this in the pro traders at Wyckoff SMI. The green arrow, he's a buyer down around 178 and change. We're still 191. You can see holding up very well here. Technometer is, though, down at oversold. So I think ANET could be a leader when we decide to turn back up here, hopefully in a few days. And then QLYS, another one that I've mentioned that we are long. Go the 1 year here. Did the buy at 153.50 and change, somewhere around in there, or 161.50. Again, same as ANET, kind of holding the recent gains pretty well. Let's see if that can continue, and QLYS can continue to take us higher.
Yannick says Mong is up 60% on the week. Indy Life, don't jinx it. We're still very low on Mong. We made a lot of trading. We made a lot of trading profits on the initial run, swapping out to other assets. And then, of course, whatever we've kept in there has been hammered with the downturn of Pepe and all the other meme coins. It is up 60 to 70% off the lows in this past week, and they do have an AMA here in about 4 hours. So I was going to tune into the AMA, see if there's any other big news to kind of rectify their overall price, but really kind of determine what is driving this 60% gain here, or if it's just the mere fact that all the sellers are done, it's exhausted, and it needs to rally to make a decision with any of our other holdings, whether we want to get rid of them, hold on to them, and what the outlook future is for the Mong meme token. So Yannick, stay tuned. Depending on what they say in the AMA, if you want to tune into that, I'll probably be making some kind of video. And then if we're buying more or selling any of our assets, of course, patreon.com/learncrypto will be the first to know.
And actually at learncrypto.io and wyckoffsmi.com, 30% off all courses. So I normally don't go that deep, doing 30% off for October. So if you want a course, this would be the time to do it. And let's jump into DKNG for Hasta La Vista. Looks higher to me. I mean, I'd like to be a buyer a little bit lower here, but that's a pretty good accumulation. So I think we're higher on DKNG and Tesla. Tesla, our technometer there caught the last low exact at the same levels that we're at now. We're actually breaking down through that previous, coming down to break down through the previous. You can see the technometer is 39.4, and it takes a little bit below 38 to get me a green dot. So again, on Tesla, I'm going to say a couple days lower, like we're looking at for the general market, and I think probably Tesla would be good for a pretty good bounce. So we'll look for that.
Yeah, DKNG is in that kind of gambling ecosystem, sports betting, the industry that continues to grow by like $1 billion year over year. I think it's a good industry. We have exposure to that with Penstock, PENN, with their ESPN Bets platform that is yet to launch. ESPN just finally unveiled some numbers, and they're making big money over there at ESPN, kind of the main driver for Disney as a whole. So hopefully some of that success parlays over into ESPN Bets, which trickles down to Penn. Also, a run in DraftKings is going to kind of pull up that sector and be good for a Penn as well. And then in the crypto side, we're seeing success of Rollbit, $450 million market cap, and that's why we invested in the GambleFi platform, DeadPrez. So we are interested in kind of the vices in this gambling, in this sports betting industry. We're just taking our bets on smaller cap plays to see if we can ride the wave, as again, it is $1 billion plus year over year growth in that industry, and I don't think that's going to end anytime soon.
Quickly, we're going to look at MATIC. Big House asked about that. Not much to say, as I mentioned before. OP is kind of moving down in lockstep with the coin. We did get oversold there on October 11th, right at these levels. So again, maybe be long this when we get bullish, but definitely not one of the strong coins, but one that could come alive at any second.
Do you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns? I don't think there's anything else really we're missing. The news has been about the same this entire time. It's talking about the confirmed fraud of Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. We are seeing lawsuits coming from the SEC for Coinbase, for Gemini, for Grayscale. I don't think they're really winning any of these. These are going to be kind of settled out. We have the Richard Hart first litigation occurring next month in November, in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be interesting. And then we have Novogratz and others, JP Morgan, saying they think there's a 90% chance that the Bitcoin spot ETF comes before the end of 2023. For now, I'm going to stick to what we've been saying for months now, not seeing it to January or March of 2024. And the speculation and people trying to front run, maybe they're right. Maybe it comes before the end of this year, and then we'll be chasing some green candles. But for now, we're going to hold off. We're going to understand that we can still get exposure to the upside by being correct. Since we've been predicting a downturn in stocks, we've sold a lot of our assets higher. Ethereum is still underperforming. Alts are still underperforming. And there'll be plenty of opportunities over the next 1 to 3 years in the crypto ecosystem. So we don't need to rush any of our entries or trades just to try to join the speculators for a potential Bitcoin spot ETF in the next few weeks.
All right, let me run a disclaimer. If anyone's got any more requests, throw them up there now, or we're going to be out of here. Dow closed down 250, NASDAQ down 128.
There is a high degree of risk involved in trading cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
All righty.
Man, NASDAQ getting crushed, new lows for the day, yeah?
Yeah, we're right down near the lows. Closed them all out near the lows, so I think tomorrow is going to be more of the same.
We'll see if Bitcoin plays any downside catch-up overnight with this close, especially if we get some more red futures here in the next few hours. It's interesting. Bitcoin is holding firm here. I mean, I like the look of it, but man, doing it in the face of a red stock market off the back of some fake news is a little outside my risk parameter for wanting to re-long Bitcoin at these levels.
No more questions.
No more questions. Well, then you know what time it is. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for your daily updates on both crypto and stock technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news right here on Learn Crypto. And if you're tired of losing, if you think you can add value to a thriving community, then join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. $1 a day can keep the banker away. We've been here for many cycles. We've changed tons of people's lives, and we believe this is going to be an even bigger Bitcoin and crypto bull market over the next 3 years. We want to help you in both large caps, small caps, degen plays, and stocks. Not everything will be a winner, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. We will win more than we lose. We will tell you when things are frothy. Go buy your wife a nice bottle of wine. Go buy yourself a new sports car. And hopefully we can help you on the journey to financial freedom.
I'm going to run a couple commercials here, and then we'll be back tomorrow if there's any action, or possibly this weekend. So good luck, and let's look for lower tomorrow.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard D. Wyckoff. Anyone who is interested in the stock, option, or commodity markets is most likely to find my life and teachings to be of great interest and value. I was born November 2nd, 1873. At the age of 15, I had my first job as a stock runner on Wall Street, and by age 25, I had opened my first brokerage firm. I was one of the pioneers in the study of the tape and included volume studies in all my market operations. This volume and its intraday studies is what set me apart from the rest of the market gurus. There was a point that my buy and sell following was so big that it became a powerful part of the daily market. It was at this time that I became known as one of the titans of technical analysis. But all along, my lifelong endeavor was to pass on my accumulated wisdom to others. With that in mind, in 1907 I created the Magazine of Wall Street. At its height, the Magazine of Wall Street had over 200,000 subscribers. That's over 200,000 investors who wanted my thoughts on the current market conditions and trends. Finally, in 1931, I decided to take all my knowledge that I had learned about the stock market and created the Richard D. Wyckoff course of Stock Market Science and Technique. I was able to create something that established a new standard of practice in the public stock market operations. I did not claim any monopoly of stock market knowledge, but up to that time, no one else seemed willing to be so frank in offering to the public the most intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the stock market. The good news is that even though I created the Wyckoff Stock Market course back in 1931, the course has been maintained and updated throughout the years and is available to you today. Over 90 years later, my course is still available for investors and traders that want to learn the secrets to the stock market and can be found right now at wyckoffsmi.com.
LearnCrypto.io. Are you trading or investing in the fast-moving and exciting cryptocurrency markets? If so, you need to learn how to identify primary trading opportunities by implementing the Wyckoff trading method. This method was created by world-renowned stock speculator Richard D. Wyckoff and has been educating traders for 90-plus years. This course teaches you all you need to know to increase your returns while minimizing your risk using the Wyckoff trading method. Over 1,000 plus students have enrolled in the course since its launch in late 2017. Let's hear what some of the graduates had to say about the course. Craig says, "This is a great course for the crypto trader. I have found it written in an easy-to-understand format and thorough in its content." BTC Capital says, "I have tried to study TA for a few years, but until I purchased this course, I had been floundering." LearnCrypto.io is owned and powered by WyckoffSMI.com, the original institute started by Mr. Wyckoff in 1931. Enroll today in our cryptocurrency course, and you will receive lifetime access to our current 24 lessons as well as new ones we add. Also gain access to our course group at LearnCrypto.io to talk with Mr. Butterfield, as well as other students as you proceed with your studies. You will also receive 1 free month to our Patreon Discord paid group, as that is where we give our personal trade setups to our members. This is the only place where you can gain access to our proprietary indicators known as the Optimism Pessimism Index, the Force Index, and the Technometer. Take advantage today of this excellent course and begin reaping the rewards of a time-tested method from the grandfather of technical analysis, Richard D. Wyckoff. To get the best experience, download our Learn Crypto app and get started today.
We'll see you all again. Sleep tight.